Hey everybody, welcome in this new episode of Juno Live. And again, there was a new release with some new improvement. So I was thinking to show you how it works and also explain why it works, maybe. And so journal along, and if you have questions, just ping me along the way. Right, so there was this new release that basically do two things. Is like one, there is a new encoding for your front-end app, which you can use brotli, so we're gonna have a look why and what's the difference with gzip. And there is another option that allow you to win time when you deploy. And actually there is two things that help you win time. One is there out of the box, and the other is like an option. Alright, so we're gonna play against mainnet because that's more fun, and then we have real metrics. So let's have a look. So here I have it's kind of like a playground where I have different stuff that I use to deploy and crash things. And I have this application here that is already upgraded that I use to, just like I sign in to check that I can sign in. I have a counter within, which is a bit slow, I don't know why, but I have a counter. And it's like a static website, default website of Astro, which is a bit old, but it's interesting because I can use it to check, for example, that my redirect works. You see, like here, if I type redirect, then I should be redirected to first, yeah. And these examples live, by the way, in the Juno org. In examples, you have front end, and here you have the Astro repository. Anyway, so first, let's deploy it with the new CLI. And before doing that, I want to have a clean deploy. So I will add a pre-deploy step. That's the default nowadays, which gonna do rm-r dist and an npm run build. This way, every time I deploy, these two commands will be run. And let's open it. I'm gonna zoom maybe. Alright, so first of all, I need to become a controller of my controller. I need to be an admin of my my satellites, right? So I will do a login using a profile that we're just gonna use for the Juno Live. This way I can delete it afterwards, and that way I won't use a password. So Juno login -- profile. I don't want to encode it because it's gonna be a demo, right? And that's my default browser, so I'm just gonna come here, and so it's called Astro, right? So I'll deselect everything and just gonna control this one. Alright. And if I have a look here, now you see I have it here. Alright. Okay. So if we do a deploy, like no particular option, right? What does it do? So it builds my application, and then what does the CLI is it goes in the dist folder, and by default for any HTML, CSS, JavaScript file, it generates a gzip file. And then I end up having an HTML file and a gz file. And all right, I was speaking while he was doing that, so we're gonna do it one more time. You see here there was two different icons. That's because first it tries to upload those gzip file that has been automatically generated, and then it upload those that are the source, right? So here we see, for example, we will have the index.html. Oh yeah, you see? Okay. And then that means that within my on the heap memory, I don't know if I see that here. Maybe not, because that's yeah, I don't see that here. But basically, you should think that in the heap memory now I have both, for that entry, for index.html, I have both the source file and the gzip file. And that's useful because not in the past, at least, not all the browsers could read both files. But nowadays that's not the case anymore. If we have a look to the website deployed, you see the index.html is delivered with the encoded gzip. So I just get the gzip, and same for example, where do I have a JavaScript file here? Yes, the same. I get the gzip file too. So while those source HTML and JavaScript file exist, they are not used here, right? And I don't know if I would do a curl, if maybe all right, so here I'm not sure. Curl gzip. Okay, that's good. So we're gonna try that later. But if I don't get compressed, I will have a compressed answer. But since here we have the HTML file, it can find it, right? Okay. Great. So that's for the current status. Now, what it used to do, and where we win time with this new version, is because it introduced new endpoints. If I have a look to my satellites, you see here there was like a singular commit function for asset and a singular init asset. So what it used to do, it used to just not batch the opening of the proposal, but for every single resources, make an initial call, uploading the chunk, committing. So if there was like 20 files, like here, then it would have made 20 through 3. So basically you would have done, let's do that, draw. So let's do a new file here. So if we have index.html, right? So what it used to do in the past, it used to do init upload all the chunks, commit and that's a batch, right? And then if I would have had like a whatever JavaScript file, it would have done the same. And now what does that new the new CLI, and thanks to those new endpoints, what it does is basically it does init upload for batch cheese. So here it's gonna include index.html and index.js. So that makes just one call. And then it does index.html upload all the chunks, index.js, it does that in parallel, upload all the chunks, and when it's finished for a batch, then it does commit all for batches. So this way you see, like imagine here we would have 20 calls, and here we're just gonna do 2. So basically for 22 we spare 18 calls already. So thanks to this change, I think we were already able to spare something like 15% or 20% of the time. And you even have an option for that now here. It's called batch. So for example, let's say you say, yeah, it's gonna be fine. The default is 20, but maybe you say, no, but my network is really good. IC works really well today. So you do something like batch 100, and you say, in a batch I can do just 100. And then here, you will open the proposal, and here we just have one batch, and here and the commit, instead of 2 batch, we're gonna have just 1 because it's able to take the 21 file here. And of course, if you do like a small batch, for example, if I take 5, you see, now it's gonna do like 5 by 5 by and so on and so on. So yeah, depending what you need, you can kind of fine tune. Yeah. So I'm just gonna close it because we don't need that. One thing maybe to say is like here I'm using clear, right? Because I want to display or it upload each time. But if I don't use the clear option, the CLI compares the SHA of the file that are available and those that are locally, and if your app is reproducible, no new changes are pushed, so that's kind of really nice. Like if for example now I would, let's just make a small change, depends how it builds, but let's say I just do a change here in that 404 and I do a deploy. Depending how it builds, I should upload less file, like I'm not gonna upload again the fonts, for example, right? You see, so here I just upload the 404. All right, so yeah, so depends what you need, but this is nice. So you need to upgrade your satellites and upgrade the CLI. Then great to hear. Thanks. And yeah, so let's have a look at what do we have? The precompression. So I will deploy. So now we say we have HTML and gzip. So we're gonna take a few screenshots to see a bit the perf. So where is it? Here. So what things we're gonna do here? We're gonna do, I guess for a small website like that there won't be much changes, but yeah, I guess we're gonna get the idea. Alright, so yeah, you see it's already super performant, so I don't think that it will. I should put a big image or whatever, or more JavaScript to have something smaller, but slower, sorry. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, all right, but let's have a look like that. So if I refresh, let's see. So our index page is 2953 length. Yeah, I guess it's bytes. And if we have a look to this JavaScript file, it's 105, and this one here. So all in all, over the wire, we have downloaded 412, 100. Yeah, that's good. 185 kilobytes, right? gzip. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch to the new algorithm that is optional and see the difference. So here you have a new option that's called precompress, and in the algorithm I think undefined is wrong. That's, I don't know what is that. Ah, no, it's correct. It's optional. So we're gonna pick brotli. So here, because I changed the algorithm, it's important that we do a clear, because I want to have like yeah, it's either gzip or brotli. I don't think it supports both. Maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, so I do a clear to be sure that I just have this encoding in the satellites, but maybe we're gonna already see that here. Before we had 32 files, 1,77 mega. And now what we're gonna have, yeah, super. Same, right? So maybe it's really like for a small website like that, but yeah, you already see here that we have brotli files, right? And so let's look what we get. Okay, that's interesting. So here you see we already got 166 kilobytes transferred, where before we had 185. So it's already 20 kilobytes saved. I don't think it's like that much, but yeah, it's still 10% less. I mean, that's not nothing, even for a small website like that. So it means that it's already faster than before. And if we have a look at each file, then I guess it's smaller differences. But here we have 2342, and what we had 2953. So, and this one was the index astro. So here we have 87, and before we had 105. Oh, okay, so we win a bit more on the JavaScript part, right? So yeah, you see, it's like maybe gzip is better for your website, maybe brotli, but if particularly, I guess, if you have like a static website, like my own website or whatever, I think it's interesting to give it a try. Like you can get an extra boost, right? And so a bit less data to upload, a bit less data to download. Then, right, that's not new, but there is a pattern. Like maybe, I guess it's really rare, I guess, which make me think if I did not forget something. Let me just check something. Okay, I'm gonna need to fix that afterward. Yeah, what I wanted to say is maybe you don't want to apply the encoding on everything, or maybe there is something else that you want to encode. So you can use a pattern here. And what did I use here? Just the CSS. All right. And by default, why? It should be documented on the website. Then, if it's not in the doc, I'm a bit surprised. Maybe it's just my my editor that hide that. Yeah. Here. So yeah. Configuration, I guess. Yeah, by default it's CSS, JS, MJS, and HTML. So you can expand it or have it less, and it supports glob, right? So just to have a look, if we do the same things here, I just gonna cut it, stop it when here. But if we have a look now, here you see I don't have like any brotli file or whatever, but okay, so there is no CSS file, so of course it's not a super example. So let's use just JS, right? So here you see now I have the brotli for JS, but I don't have the brotli for the index page, which is nice. But for today I'm gonna keep it this way. And now hey Nikophoros, coming to the last or cherry on top. So as I said in the start, it's like you have that HTML file or JavaScript, and next to it you have the gzip and the brotli file, depends what you choose. But maybe you don't need that, because most browsers nowadays support gzip and or brotli if the response provide the correct where is that? The correct header, or support the header. I don't remember which one is it. Accept range, and is it in the request? Yeah, because here you see it requests gzip or brotli. So what you can do actually is to say, but I just want to upload the generated file and not the identity. So in the pre-compress section you have a mode which is both by default, but you can select replace. So again, if you tweak that replace option, you need to redeploy with a clear, with the clear option. But if we do that now, same, but now it uploads all those brotli files that we have generated. But here you see in initializing, I don't have the index.html, or I don't have the JavaScript file. So how many files did we upload before? I think it was 21, right? no, it was 32 file for 1,77 mega, and now we uploaded 21 for that. So if we have a look, so that's 42% less. So yeah, 42% faster deployment. Is it correct? Or 42 less slow? Yeah, anyway, it's like almost twice faster. And if we have a look to the app, I mean, it still works because I'm just returning that encoding, right? And that's where I wanted to check. No, maybe my... Oh no, it still works. Okay, so I'm not an expert in curl command, but I think if you... on HTTP, for example, but it looks different, which is interesting. What's that? Forum. Wait. Ah no, you see? That's good. So actually here now I'm asking the curl for this command, but because it does not find the identity file, then it fails here. But I guess that if I do, what was the option that we see? Minus compressed. Maybe it will work, I'm not sure. No, it does. Yeah, no, it doesn't work neither. Again, I'm not an expert in curl, right? But yeah, that's the thing. Is like it works on the web, but depending the I don't know if you need to query that with a terminal or something like that. Maybe not. But yeah, I mean, depends your use case. But for example, I think I deployed. Let's have a look. I think I deployed proposal.network here with this option, right? So let's have a look. Yeah, you see replace and brotli. So let's ensure let's say the Twitter bot can still crawl our website even if we don't update the HTML file. So to be sure, what we gonna do? Okay. Let's just have a look. I'm not sure it's gonna work because sometimes, yeah, but even though it has a cache, I'm not sure it's a good idea. Anyway, yeah, what we can assert is, you see here, if it still works, and if I want to check Twitter card validator. No, that's not the Twitter card validator. What is it? Did it move? Yeah, anyway, I'm just gonna test the first one. But here we have a bot and is able to fetch it, and I never used that. Anyway, okay. Right, so yeah, I think that basically that wasn't like a huge, but yeah, there was also a fix for the redirection. But yeah, that's basically it. So you can just upgrade and ignore anything particular, but if you want to play, you can play with this pre-compress section where you either use brotli or gzip, and you can use mode replace. Don't forget to do a clear if you do so, because it needs to have like the correct setup. And if you want to go a bit have bigger batch, you can use the option batch here to deploy. Right, so that's everything for today. If you have any question, just ping me anytime, as always. And yeah, thank you. Bye bye.